All right, welcome back to Freedom Algo, everybody. So this is the 2000 tick ES chart, looking at the ES E-mini futures. And if I zoom out, you can see that we have ourselves a pretty large trend, but it wasn't like that for most of the day in the morning until it broke out of this range. So at first, I just thought that we had our basic range day, but once we filled the gap, we just kept going. And now it's looking pretty bullish. And so I drew this giant channel off of these lows and these two swings here. And this high actually matched up with this high after this form. So it actually fits the price action pretty much like to the tick. The perfect midline. There's spots where it bounces perfectly. So that's how you know that it's a pretty strong trend in play. And if we zoom in here, you can see we came off this high, and it looks like we're actually going to get a first entry, possible second entry long here. But you got to be careful after like how aggressive that was. It is off the EMA here still, but you do have to be careful because we could get a deeper pullback after a big move like that. So you got to be patient here. You got to make sure that you get a proper setup. And over here, just not the best starting day. Like there wasn't the best price action early. We had this little up channel. It gets a close outside here, and then it comes up and makes a second entry short. Now, earlier I didn't have this wider channel yet because you didn't have this swing. So it just looked like a close outside, two legs up to a new high, and then one more leg to a new high. So you get two legs to a new high. So this up channel has played out. You haven't had a new low on the down channel. Second entry short. That's a really good one. The only reason I marked it green is because it's a 30 tick bar. 30 tick bar, that's going to be, pretty aggressive for most people. So it's actually a setup that I would usually mark as a red, but because the bar is so big, you got to be cautious there. And you're expecting it to come back to the EMA at a minimum. So then after that move, it comes up, and what we have here is actually from this high, there's a first entry, second entry long. This is like a higher low and a second entry long. And then it makes another higher low after the second entry long, and it makes a failed second entry short. So first entry, second entry short failure. So I like this one because I had a wider channel now, and I was thinking, all right, we're probably going to try to make a new high there. And then you even get a second entry long here. So from this high, you get a pullback, first entry long, pullback, second entry long. It's another higher low, second entry long. So pretty decent setups overall here. It's just kind of continuations to try to make a new high. So it was a nice little setup earlier. I just marked most of these green, though, because they were right near the open. And you got to be cautious around the open just because of spikes in volatility can come through. And also, it's just a little tight in there. Like, this could easily, like, wick you out because it's not really off the EMA. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect trend there. So you have to be cautious. It's starting to look slightly sideways, so you just need to be aware. And then it comes up. We don't get a setup here. We don't really get a setup down here. I wanted this higher low, but it wasn't bullish enough. It was a doji, so I had to skip it. And then I wanted this one, but this one wasn't bullish enough either because I was thinking first entry, it's kind of a failure, kind of another higher low, but just no setups down there, unfortunately. I was really hoping for like a nice triple test, but it just didn't work. Comes up here. There's no signal bar there, no lower high, so you have to skip that. Then it finally does come up, and I wanted a second entry short here, but the bar printed huge as a 26 tick bar. I actually had an order ready to go, and I was thinking, okay, we got to move up. First entry short, this one came up and started to reject. I was hoping it would close like up here somewhere, and then I could just drop my order, but it just didn't do that, and instead it came all the way down. So at that point, it moved too far, and you can see if you did short there, you would have taken a loss. If it closed up here, then you would have had plenty of room to the midline. It would have been a nice setup. Then it comes up and makes a failed breakout right here. I don't think you want to go short on that failed breakout right away. You're just kind of picking a top there. There's no triple test or anything. I mean, it is a failed breakout. I thought about marking it. I mean, if you did take this, I can mark it. If you did take that, it's risky. It's a first entry short. It's a failed breakout. You would have to ride out almost getting stopped out before it works. But anyway, it comes up and it actually makes a lower high here, but there's no good signal bar there. This one creates an engulfing bar. So they close at the top and then it actually breaks one tick below, reverses, and traps everyone. So this is actually like a failed, this is a trap and a lower high after the failed breakout. I think I wrote that. I meant to say trap. I meant to say trap and lower high after failed breakout. So my bad on that. That's what I meant to say. So basically, what you have here is a pullback first entry long, pullback, second entry long failure. But it's also, from the low, a first entry, second entry short failure. So it's a trap in both directions. It traps the shorts first, who tried to go short right here on the engulfing bar. Then it traps the longs, who tried to long above this bar after it closed. And then they get trapped as it breaks below, and they have all their stops down here. They all get stopped. You go short one tick below. I took that trade. That was a really nice one. And comes down. And now we have this channel, and it of course moved on me. Come on, dude. Why you always got to move on me? Come on, man. Come on, man. I'll fix that. All right. All right. So sometimes when I correct the text, it does that. There's really just nothing else down here. This just kind of chops down. There's really no setups here. I don't think you want to long here. You know, you could argue that there's like a close outside and there's clear two legs there. But then this one goes lower. I just don't think that there's a setup there. Then this just becomes a super congested sideways area. This one, there's nothing really here, just a first entry. There's really no setup there. And then this thing starts to come up. Now, originally I was thinking close outside. Maybe we reject back into the range, but then it just kept going. So then I widened my channel. And then I was thinking here, you know, when you have this wider channel on, you can see from this low that there's a first entry short there, second entry short there. That's a failed second entry short above this bar. You could actually, if you were, you know, it's aggressive, but you could enter that on the engulfing bar. But you could also just wait for that to close. And then it does make another higher low that's also a second entry long. Both of those are greens, though. Like, it's risky up there. Like, it could be a failed breakout and still dump down. So it is risky to go long there. So I didn't take those, but I just wanted to call them out. Now, after that, you could look at this like a double bottom, and you could see this as a first entry, second entry short. Now, you're not really looking for shorts in an uptrend usually, but if you saw this as a close outside and two big legs to a new high, you're definitely going to get some correction here soon. I wanted a lower high here. You don't get one, but that is a nice move. I mean, that's a really bearish bar. Confirms this trend line on the upper side. I do like that one. Then it comes down. You get a first entry. There's really no second entry long here because it would be above this red bar. So it wouldn't trigger till like over here. So you can't really take that. The higher low is no good here. So you kind of just have to stay out of this and just be patient. But, you know, really strong momentum here.
Connection lost.
That was weird. My Ninja Trader just said connection lost and then reconnected. That was weird. All right, anyway. So, you know, we filled that gap. That was the target earlier. I forgot to say that. Earlier, we were coming up towards it. We missed it by 2 ticks and reversed. So I knew we were probably going to come up. When we didn't get back down to the bottom of the range, I was thinking bullish. We're probably going to fill the gap. I had been saying that since early this morning to my crew. And they, you know, everybody, we kind of all knew that that was the likely scenario. Now, here is where we have to kind of watch this. Like, I'm going to leave this channel up and come back a little bit later on to check on this. But I have a feeling that we are going to, you know, get some sort of corrections here, test this midline at least at a minimum before we try to go higher. If we just start shooting up here, then that's going to be a little bit, you know, exhausted. But if you do look at this, this is basically a perfect trend. It's basically a 45-degree angle. It's exactly what you want for a bullish trend. If we look at the daily chart, I mean, this is what you want to see. A break back into the range, you love to see that, and this is just looking like it could turn into a breakout into the, or a break into the range and then a pullback to test the range lows, and then, you know, it could shoot up from there. And I believe that is the range lows. You know, it could be these like wicks down here. It's hard to really say for sure. But I love that right there. That's looking really strong. You know, overall, still have this bullish momentum on this trend channel that I drew a while back. and we haven't even tested the midline of it. So even though it's looking a little oversold in general, or overbought in general, these are small bars. This is what strong trends look like when you get small bars like this. Oh, is my mic? Oh, all right, I didn't realize. So let me check that. Mic is grinding. All right, give me a sec. All right, give me one sec here. I'm gonna take a look at the mic settings. Sometimes the mic does weird stuff on me. Microphone, okay. Let me... Alright, is that better? Is the mic sounding better now? Let me know in the chat. Hopefully it is. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't get a notification that it was clipping, so that's weird. I just lowered the gain a little bit, so that might make it a little bit better. I'm looking right now and move it. Alright. Hopefully there's no lag there. So let me know if the mic is sounding better there. Well, I think that's going to be most of the chart lesson anyway. If anybody has any questions, drop them in the chat now. No, it's still messed up. Huh. Alright, let me, here, give me a sec. Weird, it doesn't say that it's messed up. Well, not much I can do about it. It's not record. I'm gonna take a look. Let me check the live stream real quick, because that's weird that it's giving me grief. Hold on, I'm gonna play. Let me put this on real quick. I'm gonna open up my stream and just see what it sounds like on my side. Okay. Well, no clue. It sounds fine when I just listen to it. I think it has something to do with the I think it was the desktop audio. I think something weird happened with the desktop audio. So let me... All right. I think it was something with the desktop audio, like it was doing something weird. When my NinjaTrader disconnected, it like screwed something up on the audio. So I turned off the desktop audio, so now it should be all good. So anyway, my bad if the mic sounds like I almost cursed. Try not to curse for the purposes of YouTube. I don't want to get flagged and have all that. So we're breaking out here, possibly. I don't know. It doesn't look like it to me. I can't see us breaking out of that. If this thing breaks further up, that's going to be pretty wild. In which case, this bigger channel might not be the move. It might be a spiking channel, which would look something like this. Even this is still really steep, though. You can draw this as a possibility. We can also just lift this just a tad, and it is going to still fit pretty decent. I don't think we're... Yeah, I mean, it still touches there, but if this keeps going up, then it might not be that this is this big channel might be incorrect, or it might just be even wider, which, you know, the midline still fits right there. So we'll just have to wait and see. But if you have to keep on dragging this thing up, then, you know, what I would do here is play the spiking channel, which is right here. And that's what it's looking like, a spike and channel pattern. And that does seem to fit pretty decent. You know, the bigger channel was a possibility, but with us not even pulling back to the midline, it might be a spiking channel. So we'll keep both of them on there and leave it like that. But anyway, I appreciate everybody hopping on. If you guys want to learn more, go down in the first link of the description and you can get access to the Freedom Algo free school community, my free price action course. It's all in there. And we have a bunch of events that we do that you can see on the calendar once you join. It's all free. So check that all out. I'm going to have to wrap up here because I got some stuff that I got to go take care of. So I'm going to hop off now, but I appreciate everyone for joining, and I will talk to you all